Hey folks, do it here. Coming yet again, another edition of, me showing off something kind of cool here. And I am cheating how I'm doing the recording because literally this right here is going to be my very, very, very antique style. Oh man, it is basically the old flip camera. But there's a reason why I'm using the flip camera. Mostly because if I try to use anything else, it won't quite work. Okay, this one, of course, is the new guy. This is my daily driver. So let's just do a quick little, stupid thing here. You can see time of day, and you can see my storage is 96.7 gigabytes on this one, and actually on the card, it is 97.6 gigabyte. Now, this of course is a 128 gig Samsung Note 9, nothing crazy there. Obviously, the Note 9 does have the built-in stylus, good stuff like that there. But remember, I was telling you guys I was going to build a 1T unit. Okay, so what does that actually mean for all intents and purposes? Well, essentially what that means is you're now basically looking at something that is just a flipping big mega, it's a mega mother, okay? So this guy right here basically being 96.7 on that one. The actual phone itself is it might actually be the phone. 128 gigs used. For 31.3 gigabytes out of 128 gigabytes used. The SD card is 21.5 gigabytes out of 119 gigabytes. So basically 128, 128. Okay. So do the math on that one. So basically it almost a quarter T, just with the phone internal and of course the SD card. But I actually did want to upgrade, so I got this guy here, which is going to be. Let me get out of this one. Of course, you can see it's my daily driver. Nothing crazy there. I don't have any like apps I'm trying to hide or anything. This guy though is the new guy. You see, obviously, of course, we go to lock screens. Everything comes up exactly the same. Nothing crazy. All that stuff is exactly the same. Unlock. Basically we have good stuff going on. Unlock this guy. Basically got my home. So unlock this guy, and oh, wait a minute. What's this? Oh my, look at this one. This phone has a gigabyte capacity of 454 internal out of 512 used. And then of course on the card has 455.2 out of 512 gigabytes. So let's just see how many gigabytes are we talking here. That's right, 931 gigabytes. So this guy is almost a 1T smartphone. Now the thing about it is, of course, I went on eBay, picked up this phone for about 230ish or so, 240ish, maybe closer to 250, of course, tax and shipping, all the rest of that fun stuff. But you can see I basically built a doppelganger with, literally the smart switch where you take the stuff out of the old phone, put it in the new phone. Druthers, what actually happened when I got this thing? Well, it did have an issue. Issue being was, of course, the S Pen, namely this S Pen. What a piece of S Pen. Well, anyway, this guy wouldn't link up. I mean, it still is a stylus, but it wouldn't do all the fun stuff. You can see it actually does have a little bitty button on there. And the way that these things work is, I'll show you on, my normal. Get out of here. Click off on that guy. Of course, I drop everything. So tap off on this one, back in, get out of that. And what happens is this actually has not a battery on board, but it has a capacitor. Notice the difference in color. This one, of course, being a I don't want to take this out of the case, but it is a dark blue Note 9, and of course it has a yellow stylus. Okay, this one, of course, being a silver Note 9, and it does have a silver stylus. See, yellow versus silver. Okay. So anyway, the way this thing actually works is when you hold the stylus thusly, and you have the little bitty button, and you can see it does have a bitty button right there. When you long press the button, you then change it into a shutter, a remote shutter. So literally, you can take pictures as much as you want. See how it's flashing that one right there? So all those pictures I just took, obviously snapping a picture like that. Basically, I did, just snap the picture. See, there is a picture there, okay? Now, literally, what it works as is, of course, this is really, really hard to do with like multiple fingers doing stuff here. But going back to camera mode, if I'm holding it thusly. I'm really having a hard time on this one. Hang on one second here. I'm gonna have to cheat like crazy. I'm gonna have to cheat like crazy. Okay. All right. So having re-cheated like crazy, this is now standing on its little, flip out guy. So I do actually have the, the little flip out guy, and of course we have the button. So holding the button, we are now snapping pictures. Of course, we can go and review, and you can see I have actually used this as a remote shutter release. Now there's a reason why these remote shutters are actually really kind of cool technology. If you're doing a nighttime shot and you're trying to actually hold the camera as steady as possible, it is almost impossible to get a sharp image, even with all the stabilization and everything on board. No matter how good your phone is, to get a smooth, consistent press on the trigger device and hold it absolutely still. So what most people normally do is they'll take their phone. Let me get out of this real quick. Get out of there. And what they normally do is they'll take their device and they'll put it in a tripod. In the process of holding it in a tripod, it is way more stable. So in the process of making it way more stable, and with a remote shutter release, you are not making the thing twitch every time you pull the button or push the button or snap a shutter release or, So all those things come into play as well, and that's just one of the kind of cool things. But that was the only limitation on this Note 9 was the fact it was only 128 gig with a 128 gig card versus this one, which is a 512 built-in memory unit with a 512 card. Or 931 gigabytes of basically, so it's almost 1T, okay? 1T would be 1,000 million, I think it is. So it's a trillion bytes. So, or 1,000 billion. Maybe it be 1,000 billion. It's a, that gigabyte, megabyte, thing always tends to trip me up. It's that whole kind of great thing with the X's, the C's, the V's, and numbers get big really, really fast. All right, so anyway, that's how we're looking on this one. So literally, like I said, I was building myself a 1T smartphone. That's the 1T smartphone for just about under $300. It can be done. A 1T smartphone nowadays is prohibitively expensive, unless you go back a few generations, which is still a damn decent phone. The difference between a 20 and a 21 and all the rest of these things versus a Note 9, 3 generations removed, really is only like a little bit faster processor, maybe a little bit better screen refresh, and maybe just a bit bigger battery. Other than that, I cannot justify spending $1,000 for a phone for something that'll do almost 95% of it for a third the price. And oh yeah, those guys that I bought it from literally sent me a replacement stylus, or should I say S Pen, because, well, that S Pen was a piece of S crap. So that piece of S wasn't doing it. All right, so I'm going to bring this one, folks. Eat your Crypton Ring as always, you love it. Old technology is not exactly archaic technology, which is not exactly obsolete. It's just the newest, not the newest, bestest, and all the rest of the good stuff like that there. But you can see I got these guys absolutely doppelganged, and they do exactly everything the same way, both ways, because this is a clone off this one. All right, so catch you guys later. Have a good one, and build your own 1 terabyte smartphone. See you guys.